vibe. Y'all wasn't vibing out. Was I the only person?
I was back here. I was getting ready.
There
Right.
you go. Good
On my
evening.
shoulders.
Evening. Come on, shoulders. I'm Persia Nicole, the Power to P. Baby, you guys can check me out Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on 92Q. Super excited for this live today because it is all about our kitties. You know, one thing about this mama bear, I'll play about the babies. They come first. And I'm about to rock and roll, right? But first, I want to introduce you to some of my friends on the screen, as you can see, from Baltimore City Public Schools. First things first, centralized pre-K enrollment specialist, Kia Monique Martin.
Hello.
So, Kia, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Let's see. What do I want to share? I am a mother of two. I'm past the pre-K stage, but I still have much love and passion for the pre-K kiddies and the kindergarten kiddies. I have teenagers, and I've been with Baltimore City Public Schools for a little over 6 months. So this is a new position for me. I'm extremely passionate for this position. I'm really excited to get the ball rolling and for everyone to see what we have to offer for pre-K and K for the 24-25 school year.
We love new positions, especially
Yes.
during Women's History Month. Okay. Next up, one of my other friends, Early Learning Programs Education Associate Tanil Robinson.
Hello, everybody. As you know, my name is Tanil Robinson. I have been with Baltimore City Schools for 18 years. I am a true Baltimorean, born and raised. I've been with the Office of Early Learning Programs for 11, going on 12 years now. And I've been involved with the pre-K process for about 10 years.
So as you can see, we have some experienced ladies on this screen. And as you're watching, wherever you're watching from, on YouTube, Facebook, 92Q.com, wherever it is, you guys can ask questions about our rock and roll enrollment for pre-K and kindergarten. We'll get up on screen and make sure we get it answered. We might have another surprise guest joining us soon as well. So while we wait on them, Kimmy Monique, I want to start with you. When does pre-K and K enrollment start? Because, you know, as a parent to parent, sometimes the dates, they get lost in translation, right? Let's talk about those.
So we are ready to rock and enroll. I have my shirt on.
Hey,
so we can rock and enroll into pre-K and K. And so parents, mark your calendar. Starting April 2nd, we're calling this round one. Mm-hmm. April 2nd, you can start registration, go on to apply online. And we have round one that consists of April 2nd until May 15th. That is the time frame to apply for what we're calling round one. If you, for whatever reason, do not have opportunity to apply for round one, we have a second round that we're calling round two, and that will be June the 3rd until July 15th.
So round one, that's the big one, though. We want most parents to make sure they're enrolling by round one.
Yes, we want everyone to enroll in round one.
Okay. Now, let's bring it over to you, Tanil. What is this early testing process? Because, you know, parents too, from the dates to the testing, we got to make sure we're on board. Let's talk about this.
So the good thing is that the early admission testing application window opens the same time our pre-K and K enrollment opens, which is April the 2nd through May 15th. Now, the early admission testing is for our babies who were born in September, but after the deadline of September the 1st. So their birthdays fall between September the 2nd and October the 15th. Those babies get to take a test to see if they can go to kindergarten instead of pre-K. And the process is very simple. The applications will be online. When the enrollment process starts, they will fill out the last 3 sections of the application, which basically asks their normal demographic, where they live, parents' information, the school that they're interested in attending. Then they ask the parents some general questions about their child. After they do that, the next phase goes into them being notified around May 20th, between the 20th and the 23rd, with their confirmation testing date. And the testing always takes place after the last day of school. And then after that, they wait for their results. And the results are normally sent in the second week of July to the parents. So the process is painless and is very simple. And everything can be done via the email address that's on the application, which is earlyadmission@bcps.gov. enroll.k12.md.us.
Perfect. And you know what? I want to kind of do like a general conversation really quick because some people might feel like the early stages of education isn't as important. Then when you get into like the first or second or third grade and beyond, right? Let's really stress the importance of pre-K and kindergarten because honestly, for me, I feel like that's one of the biggest and most important parts. Really as you're progressing in your education. Kim, Monique, do you want to talk about the importance of early education?
So it's very important because it's like the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot run before you walk. You cannot add until you are able to identify a number. So it's the foundation, it's a firm foundation to prepare children for kindergarten. Kindergarten prepares children for first grade. So it's all connected. And that early start really puts the children at an advantage to grasp social emotional development, how to work with others, learning through play. They're being taught by certified teachers. So it's very crucial for them to apply for pre-K if they are age eligible.
Mm-hmm.
In Persia, I like to explain it to parents as using a ladder. So pre-K is where we get that social emotional development and learning to follow the rules and the routines in the classroom and just get that exposure to different skills. But it's all through play base. But K, which is a mandatory level, grade level in the state of Maryland, is where the kids come in and they start learning those foundational skills that prepare them for future success. So if you explain, in my time, I've explained it to parents in that way to show them how the ladder one step helps the other step to give a better illustration to them of the importance of pre-K.
Yeah. And I mean, really, when you think about pre K too, a lot of people might say, well, okay, since COVID, it really was rough, right? Now, my child's social skills isn't that great, and they weren't around a whole lot of people. Now I'm putting them in school for the first time, maybe. What would you say to parents that are maybe nervous about, having the kids enroll in pre K or kindergarten because social skills was a little off? You know what I mean? Us adults too. I mean, I was like, now how am I supposed to talk to these people again? What am I supposed to say? And just, what I mean? So imagine kids who never have really been forced to have to talk to kids. I think it's important for them as well. If you want to talk on that, we have a question we'll get to.
So I like to tell our first time parents, like, it's hard to let them go because they've always been with you and under the roof with you. And now you have to entrust somebody to actually look after the little one that you've been taking care of all this time. Mm-hmm. But know that when they're in school with our teachers, they are learning through play base. The materials we use are comprehensive, and it's the time for them to actually start to develop their independence and who they are as little people. Like, we call them our babies, but they really just little people trying to figure out who they are in this big world. Mm-hmm. And that's the safe environment. I say this is the time for good peer pressure. Because they get to see what their other friends, their ages are doing, and some skills that they may not have, they pick up from their peers. So this is the time for good peer pressure and exposure, and to help the parents be at ease, get them involved. They can get involved in school. They can work with the teachers. Like, that communication doesn't have to stop, but this is just the beginning of the education process.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And we did have a question up here. If we can put it back on there. Okay, so ministry in the marketplace. Is social media also affecting pre-K and K kids? Now, I'll say this. My son's in third grade. I don't allow him to get on social media, but this Roblox is taking over. So what would you say from social media? Maybe not so for pre-K and kindergarten, but for the games and everything with the phone, screen time, we'll call it that.
So I have a 30-year-old and a 13-year-old. So, two different vast worlds I live in. But for my 13-year-old, I still monitor her screen time. Mm-hmm. That is very important. With that Roblox game, it's actually teaching them how to build. You have kids that are interested in engineering. They're interested in math more because it's not just putting these little blocks together. Like, they're actually thinking how to build things, how to get to the next part. It's just about monitoring the time that they spend on these devices. All social time on the devices are not bad time. It's just how you structurally set up that time.
Yeah, but if my son texts me one more time and asks for some money for Robux, let me take it in. I'm like, I just gave you $20 5 seconds ago. These blocks are expensive.
Yes.
Give them Roblox money.
Right.
Yes. My 13-year-old is the same exact way. But in reference to pre-K and K in particular, when it comes to social media, I really would encourage parents to monitor how much time they're spent on social media to make sure they are in control and create that structure and that environment where they're looking at and listening to things that's going to help them learn something versus, something else that they shouldn't.
Yeah. If you're just joining us, it is all about rock and enroll. We're getting that pre-K and kindergarten kiddies ready. The
Rock and
babies,
enroll.
okay, rock and roll. And I need a t-shirt, okay? I feel like we should have been, you know what I mean? On
Yes.
Okay. Baltimore City Schools parents really just want to prepare you, give you some good dates, just in case you miss any emails or your first timers, that you know exactly what you should be doing before the school year starts, because there are some key dates. Matter of fact, Kia Monique, do you want to talk about those key dates again, just in case the parents just tuned in?
Sure. So we have 2 rounds. Round 1 is April the 2nd until May 15th. Second round is from June the 3rd until July 15th. And what we're doing differently with online registration, you can apply for up to 5 schools of your choice. And we would recommend that you put the schools in order of preference. So whatever you want, where you want to send your child first, don't put that as the 5th choice. Mm-hmm. Put it as your first choice. And also something else that we're doing differently, priority 1 and 2 families are able to enroll at the same time.
That's good, because a lot of people are like, wait, I'm priority 2, so now I got to wait for priority 1. So that makes it easy, and it actually less stress on the parents too. So I like that, and I appreciate that too. Let's talk about the early learning programs and what they offer as well. I know one of the many important factors for me is certified teachers, because everybody wants to make sure that the kids, as they're sending them sometimes for the first time, are with certified teachers. Can we talk about some other offerings of these learning programs?
So as far as our curriculum, well, we're currently undergoing a search for new curriculum, and we have made sure that the choices are comprehensive and they're play-based. So we are looking for that because we want our kids to be engaged, and we want to also make sure that it has the family engagement piece so that our families can be engaged. Families are the first educators of the children because they know their kids, and they can help us better understand their kids. And we are the certified teachers that are delivering the instruction, and we can work with the parents to show them how to do those same skills at home.
There was also a couple different things too that I've seen online, and I'm going to actually pull it up really quick so we can make sure we mention those key points. Because I know a lot of people might ask, what it also includes, because I know lunch was also a part on there that some, parents might say, oh, what about lunch? So I'm going to go on here really quick just to make sure. So while we're doing that, though, I also want to make sure that we are talking about some things that parents can look out for. Because when it comes to that, people might say, okay, maybe when it comes to contacting us, will it be through email? Will it be through phone number? How will we know if we're selected after the testing process? While I look for more dates, can you talk about that as well?
For what? How would they know if they selected for the testing process?
After the testing process, what are the next steps after that?
So the testing process is different from the enrollment. All parents are encouraged to enroll their child in the grade that they are age eligible for. So in this instance, it will be for the kids that are pre-K age eligible, but the parent would like them to go to K because their birthday falls after September the 1st. Okay. So those parents will apply with the application that will be online and submit it to that early admission email address, and then they will be notified via email of their confirmation date. When the results come in, they will get that via email, because we know our mail runs a little slower. So we want to make sure they get it in enough time to make whatever moves they have to make for their babies.
And seats fill quickly too, so to make sure they actually have a seat there in the classroom.
Well, and this is why we asked them to enroll in pre-K, because pre-K classrooms only have 20 kids. It's a teacher and a parent in every pre-K class, and their size limit is 20. there is no cap in kindergarten.
Okay.
So it's easy to move a child from pre-K to kindergarten, but it's hard for a child to try to register for K, then don't pass the early admission testing, but not have a seat in pre-K, which is the grade level they're age eligible for.
Okay. Now I'm looking at the flyer now, and that was a big part because I know some people might say that they have to pay for it. So it is free breakfast.
No, it is free. Early admission testing in Baltimore City is free.
Yes. Yes. The testing, everything is free because we got to make sure we're covering all bases. You know what I mean? Every dollar counts. Anthony, hey, Ammo. Okay, would you make concessions for students outside of the school district? For example, if a kid moves to the county but has strong ties to the school in the city with sports activities, do they have to live in the city base?
So if a kid plays sports, they're not pre-K age. What age level are we talking about?
Right.
Because most of
because is there even sports for pre-K and kindergarten available?
No, not sports like
No.
Baby in football.
Maybe a community team, but not in public school.
Right.
Okay, so maybe let's take sports out of that, right there. And do they have to live in the city in order to go to the city school? I think he mentioned if they live in the county.
Yes, Baltimore City's pre-K is for Baltimore City residents.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we do know that families move from different districts. So for the early admission testing piece, a family could live in Baltimore County, but if they're moving to the city, the early admission testing paperwork works for city schools. Every jurisdiction has their own process for early admission testing.
Okay. Now let's talk about how this enrollment process works. Kimmy, Monique, let's take it back up to you for the parents listening, the guardians. How does this early enrollment process work?
So during that time frame that I had mentioned before, during round 1 or in round 2, April the 2nd until May 15th, or June 3rd until July 15th, the family will go online and apply. If they already have children that's already in the system, their process is a little different and everything will be laid out online for them. Or if you're coming as a new parent, you will be creating a new account. You will go on and apply. You will select the schools of your choice, and beginning for round 1, beginning May 31st, those families will begin to be notified which school their child will be attending based off of the pre-selected list of the up to 5 schools that they selected.
Okay.
And if you apply in round 2, which again, June 3rd until July 15th, those families will be notified beginning August 2nd.
Okay. The son just did something, and I was like, wait, what is going on my screen? This one said this is good. Yeah, it's a perfect conversation to have because we really want to make sure that our kids are enrolled and you have all the information that you need. This is for you. It's for the pre-K and kindergarten, all the guardians, all the parents. This right here is really to get you out here. We're rocking. We're enrolling. Kimmy Monique got her t-shirt that she gonna get me.
Yes. I can get you a shirt. That's fine.
Okay, I mentioned it twice now. Okay.
Yeah. I made a note.
Let's talk about websites too, because where they can go to get more information if they want to enroll or things like that.
So right here at the bottom of the screen here, they can go to baltimorecityschools.org/sims. And that will not start until April 2nd. So if they go now, they will not see anything to enroll. That begins on April 2nd, right after spring break. They can go April 2nd. And I want to reiterate again, for the enrollment process, priority 1 and 2 families can enroll at the same time.
Yep, because that's big right there. So you don't have to wait for the other. Everybody does at the same time. But you want to also make sure you're doing it right now too. Like as we're speaking, go ahead and log on. They said I want a shirt too. We all want shirts. I got to get my shirt first. Okay, I say first second. No, because it's such a dope vibe though. Like when you think about rock and enroll, like it makes it fun. You know what I mean? It makes it interactive. Like kids want to do that. Oh mom, we got to rock and enroll. Like it's a cool concept. So whoever came up with that, brother. Baltimore City School.
You're welcome.
You came on this. Okay. All right. I can't flip. Now, let's talk about what this pre-K waiver process is looking like.
Okay, so the pre-K waiver is different from the kindergarten early admission testing. So the pre-K waiver is for our babies who are not 4 by September the 1st. those babies who turn 4 September the 2nd through October the 15th, families can apply for the pre-K waiver, and that application again goes up on August the 1st. It will be up from August the 1st until August the 16th. Parents fill out the information, and you have to supply documentation with this particular waiver because pre-K is priority based, and we only give the waivers out to families that meet priority one status. So that's homelessness, low income, or if the child has an IEP or ESOL. And basically what they submit is the baby's birth certificate for documentation that the baby birth date meets the birth date qualifications, a picture ID of the guardian or legal parent. So here's the thing. I know in Baltimore City, a lot of grandparents are raising their grandkids. So if they have legal custody of the grandchild, just submit that documentation too, and your picture ID that verify you are the person that's on that legal document, along with proof of income for the last 30 days. Everything still goes to that early admission email. The email is on the actual application, and it will be reviewed. If the parent accepts the waiver, it will be emailed. If the waiver is denied, it would be emailed to them, letting them know why it was denied. The most important piece that I want all parents to know about this pre-K waiver is that it's not a early admission to pre-K and then they go to kindergarten. There's actually a catchphrase that says your child has the right to repeat pre-K a second year because they're not actually age eligible for pre-K. So they're being let in pre-K early because you meet one of the 4 criteria. But the parent has to apply for early admission testing the following school year. And if the child passes early admission testing, then they will go to K. But if the child does not pass, they will have to revisit pre-K for a second time. And that's not a bad idea. The whole point of having them come in early, again, is for exposure, is for them to build those social skills. And sometimes, we don't get it the first time. So we have to do it a second time. And the second time may be the time that your light shine bright. So as you get those foundation skills that second time, that will lead you into success as you go up the ladder into your school career.
No, I love that because I feel like, some districts might say, hey, it's not their time yet. They're going to have to wait until next year. But you're saying they can come, but they might have to do it again next year. But either way, you have like a double up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so they're having extra curriculum and more social skills because that's what we want them to build. So that's dope. I like that alone right there. Now, okay, you talked a little bit about the difference between priority 1 and priority 2. And again, as you're just tuning in, just like Monique said, it's not one that's over the other. They both can apply at the same time. Priority 2 does not have to wait for priority 1. So that's a biggie right there. Also, people who are just joining in, can we just do like a recap of things we talked about in the beginning, how the enrollment process works, of course, as well as the priority 1, priority 2 as well. Monique, can we recap that a little bit?
Sure. So you're just tuning in. We have our Rock and Enroll in City Schools Pre-K and K coming very, very soon, right after spring break. Round 1 starts April the 2nd until May 15th. You can enroll online. We have an online process this year, and you have up to 5 schools. You can select up to 5 schools of your choice. Hear me again, of your choice. I know many persons say, well, it's not in my zone. It does not matter. Of course, you want to consider being able to get your child to school. We do not provide transportation. But again, the 5 schools of your choice. And I would recommend that you put the schools in order of preference. And persons who apply in round 1, starting May 31st, then the notifications will start coming out via email, which school your child will attend, based off of the pre-selected schools that you placed on your application. The same process is for round 2, and that begins on June the 3rd until July 15th. All families can apply at the same time. However, we do have a process of how children are placed is based on spacing. As Ms. Robinson stated, pre-K has a 20 student max. So we definitely want to recommend that all families apply in round 1. And when you apply, When you apply, some schools may only have one pre-K classroom. Some may have 3. So all of that is taken into account. We even though families are applying at the same time, excuse me, even though they're applying at the same time, priority status is taken into consideration when placing the children. So I want to also point that out as well. Even though priority 2 families are also encouraged to apply at the same time, priority status is taken into account when placing the children.
Okay, now Tanil, let's talk about, recap again, the early testing process as well as the pre-K waiver process as well.
So the early admission testing, anyone can apply regardless of income, regardless of your priority. The early admission testing for kindergarten is for students whose birthday falls between September the 2nd and October the 15th. The application will be up April the 2nd through May the 15th. So it runs with this window that's open for the enrollment process. Once the application is fulfilled and submitted back to the email address, parents, May 15th by 11:59 p.m., please make sure your application is sent to that email address or your application will be denied. And we do that so that we can ensure we have enough testers when it is time to test everyone that applied and qualified based off of the birth date only. Once we receive that, you will get a confirmation date between May the 20th and May the 23rd. That confirmation date will tell you the date of your test, it will tell you the location, and it will tell you your time, along with giving you information about what time to arrive early and some things to help you do to prepare your child for that day of the test. You are required to wait with your child while they take the test. By the second week in July, and I believe that week begins with July 10th, you should be receiving in your email the results of your test. So not only do you get if your child is granted early admission, but you get a breakdown of the different skill levels that were assessed. If your child does not get early admission, it does not mean that your child is behind. It just means that pre-K is the right placement at this time. We do not want to set anybody up for failure, so we try to make sure that if your child is given a grade level of celebration, that they can hold their own in kindergarten. Our pre-K waiver process starts August the 1st through August the 16th. Again, parents, if your child birthday falls between September the 2nd and October the 15th, and that's when they'll be 4, get that application in before 11:59 p.m. on August the 16th, or it will not be looked at.
Now, what if my child's birthday is August 16th, Ms. Robinson? Because you know you have those parents that's off by one day.
Right.
No, you mean October? If your child
October the 16th.
If your child birthday is October the 16th, then ma'am, you will have to register your child for pre-K. Yes. If your child's birthday is October the 16th, and that's when they'll be 4, we have a 3-year-old program that is 2.5 hours a day, and it's an inclusion program. But they won't be able to even qualify for the pre-K waiver because it states October the 15th. Mm-hmm. And the reason that we do that is to make sure that all the birth dates are in line with what the state of Maryland says every local education agency must have, which is that September the 2nd through October the 15th deadline.
Yes.
Okay, listen, 11:59 is the time you need to know. Make sure you get these babies enrolled. You can start right now. Where are we at? March 13th?
Today's the 13th.
March 13th. It's plenty of time. Like, after you make dinner tonight, get, the kids settled, just log on so you can get your paperwork and everything, and you can start your process. Beginning April 2nd, 2024 is right on the bottom of the screen. Apply for pre-K and K at baltimorecityschools.org/SIMS. Shout out to Dallas Lights, terrific info. Absolutely, this was a great time. We're going to make sure we do it for the kiddies. Rock and enroll pre-K and kindergarten, all about Baltimore City Schools. And ladies, anything else, last words before we go for us parents and guardians?
Yes, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead, Kim Monique. I defer to you first.
Really quick. For children who are currently in pre-K, they will automatically roll over to kindergarten unless their families would like to also participate in the enrollment process and select up to 5 schools. If they want their child to remain in the same school, they do not have to enroll. They will automatically roll over in the current school. I wanted to point that out.
And you can pick your schools too, and you don't have to be in that zone.
No. That's something new this year. I wanted to point that out for the pre-K babies in school now. Mm-hmm. They will automatically roll over in the current school unless the parent wants to possibly submit an application online up to 5 schools.
Okay.
And all I wanted to say to the parents were, come on and rock and enroll with us in Baltimore City schools. We are ready to start the 24-25 school year. It will be lots of fun. Don't forget to make sure you have everything that you need, because when this website opens on April the 2nd, you want to have all your documentations that you need to upload in that website.
So get the documentations tonight. Find it. If you have to get the birth certificates, if you don't have an ID, make sure you get everything done so that you can get the kids enrolled in pre-K kindergarten. We're going to rock and roll, right, Kim?
Yes, rock and roll.
All right, listen, have an amazing night. And again, make sure you log on to BaltimoreCitySchools.org/Sims if you need more details. But this has been phenomenal. Thank you so much, ladies, for
Thank you.
all of us some good information.
Yes.